Hey guys, happy Sunday. It's Daryl, and I was watching some of Wes Watson's videos and some other videos, and I wanted to talk about. I see things have changed a lot since my time out on the streets. I've been clean and sober for 13 years. I want to talk about gangs, and the thing I need to do is I'm going to be very respectful. And I'm not associating anybody with any criminal conduct. I just want to put that right out front. All the organizations that I remember were just social groups, not intent on breaking any laws. I'll say that. Just say that up front as a disclaimer. Okay, so the last time I used was 2006. And I knew nothing of the Mexican mafia, of the cartels back then. I mean, we had heard of the Colombian cartels and all that. We knew how it worked. Okay, I thought, I was an idiot. I got involved in dealing back before my addiction got bad when I was about 20 years old. I had one black friend who would go down to the Bronx near Yankee Stadium. And I quickly learned that that whole area is just a huge wholesale cocaine warehouse, the entire Bronx. You could back then you could buy a gram for fuck, I can't even remember the prices now. An eight ball for like fuck, it's like $50, $60. I can't remember the prices right now. A gram was like 25 bucks, 30 bucks. And then you could come back. I make the hour drive back to Connecticut. And without even cutting it or stepping on it, triple my money. Turn around. I could turn around up here. See, it's been so long that I really don't remember the specific prices. And I really didn't want to talk about the prices. But I thought I was a big man. Later, I started using my product. My friends, the friends I had, all left. I went downhill and I became just a bottom of the barrel user with nobody, no friends, no nothing, no money. That's how it panned out. My big life in dealing drugs. Not too good. All right, so back then, okay, one thing that always mystified me is here in the East Coast, we did not, I don't know if things are different now, but we did not have crystal meth. Non-existent here. I heard the rest of the country, even back then, was having an epidemic. Couldn't find it here. You could have $100 bill taped to your forehead, and go through the seediest section anywhere around here, and you could not find methamphetamine. Crack galore. Crack is king here. Now this makes me think: why is this? It's got to have something to do with money. It had to have something to do with money in the higher ups. Like I said, at that time, I don't think the Mexican cartels were reaching this area. From what I remember, it was more what we would call the Dominican gangs, the Spanish gangs, and the Goodfellas that would run stuff in this area. I think it had a lot to do with that. I think they kind of owned this area, and they kept, it was their territory. And methamphetamine never made it into this area. It had to be something like that because it was weird. It was very strange. And I don't know. To this day, I look through the newspapers and I still don't see methamphetamine arrests in this. Anybody from Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, you see nothing about. There's no labs out here. There's no methamphetamine arrests. There's no dealing. It's all, there's plenty of crack. There's tons of fucking heroin. Heroin is king. Crack is king out here. But I don't know. Like I said, I've been off the streets for 13 years, so things could have changed. The gangs are the social organizations I knew back then. Were the almighty Latin King Nation, which I never had a problem with. It was all about business, and I never, I don't have anything bad to say about them. They had a rival group, Los Salidos, the soldiers, and I have nothing bad to say about them. I moved through both areas, buying for a while. those were two of our bigger gangs back then. In this, they were the biggest gangs in this area. There was the motorcycle clubs, which I will not name now, that functioned in this area. There was a clubhouse down in Bridgeport, the biggest club in the nation, and then there were several smaller clubs in this area. And look, I don't know, but as far as I could tell, they weren't high level dealing. It was more the high level around here was more the what we call the good fellas would be moving stuff high level, and they would move it down to the Spanish gangs and the black gangs. It's weird around here. Cocaine was dealt by African Americans exclusively, pretty much exclusively, and heroin was dealt by Puerto Ricans, Spanish exclusively. I remember one they called him the Mexican in the South End around here. There was one Mexican deal, one lone Mexican dealer, because around here the Spanish population is a lot more Puerto Rican than Mexican. So that was the gang hierarchy. That kind of ran the drugs in this area. There was I remember a gang called 21 Love. That was a black gang. There was no Bloods, no Crips in this area. I don't know if they're here now. I assume that some young white guys probably organized a pseudo pretend wannabe Crips or Bloods in this area. I'm sure there's offsprings or offshoots that call themselves Bloods or Crips around here by now. I don't know. So it was very strange. It was this area of the country was way different from anything I could understand about the rest of the country, and why it had to have something to do with I'm sure it had something to do with gang agreements or business. Like I said, because back in the 2006, the Mexican cartels did not reach up in this area, as far as I knew. It was coming up more from right up the Atlantic, up the pipeline, up 95, and up the coast from Puerto Rico, especially from the Dominican. From what I understand, was a major player. The country and the people were major movers. Yeah, and that's and there were some Cubans, very well established Cubans that I knew. There were also I was good friends with a couple Cubans. Thankfully, I've always gotten along good with these social organizations. I've never had a problem with them, and it's probably because I just there's just basic rules and minding my own business. Don't see, don't tell, don't ask questions, the usual. But that's how it was back in 2006. How it is now, I don't know. But that's it. That's my take. I don't, like I said, these days, 13 years later, I'm not sure if how it runs around here. The only way I know is, like I said, I've been out of the mix, so I read the paper, and it's very, very weird that the whole rest of the country is awash in meth, except for this one corner of the country apparently that still just was hardcore crack. So I don't know what it had to do with. I assume it had something to do with business and agreements, but. All right, that's my look, and there's some information for people that have never been seen that area of life before. And as usual, I tell these stories. I didn't want to make this video too long. The next video I'm going to make is going to be the negative aspects of when I've been held at gunpoint, threatened with my life, when I've seen things that no white guy from a little town ever wants to see. That'll be my next video. Like I say, I make all these videos with the purpose of saying that this is a bad, evil, dead end way of life beyond a doubt. There is no good ending once you get involved in this. You got recovery, you got jail, and you got death. That's it. And dealing, from what I saw at the end, is no different. The dealers were addicted to the money. I watched this. I saw it. These guys would get arrested, and the next day they'd be right out. They'd have money. They wouldn't need, financially, they wouldn't need it, but they were addicted to the power, to the money. They were just as addicted, if not more, than the drug addicts were. And there's no retirement plan for this. It's a dead end way of life. It's not a happy way to live. It's quick money, and quick money is never good money. you know. So these are my tales of warning. Just live a good life and earn your money, work hard, and think positively. All right, have a good Sunday.